Wow. So that was a solid snap, and that could be very nerve-wracking. Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Times Radical. We're doing a no-date sub with the Tudor Black Bay 58 case from NAMOKI with their display back and bracelet. And we're gonna put a little Pelagos style with a blue ceramic Pelagos bezel from Tokei Lab. And this bezel will kind of give some contrast to the watch with this no date look from Tokei Lab as well. So we have Tokei Lab dial, Tokei Lab bezel insert, and NAMOKI case and bracelet components. I have brooches for the hands because I noticed these painted hands fit a little bit tight, so you gotta scrape out a little bit of the paint. For the hour, minute hand, and maybe even use another brooch for the seconds hand. I have my hand pushers, hand pullers, tweezers, and pin vise. So, fitting these dials like this. If you haven't seen this channel before, we're just doing a few episodes where we mod some watches and build them from the ground up. So they come with 2 sets of dial feet, and we're looking to align the correct dial feet that we need. So you can see here that this dial foot here should be removed. And how we do that is by tightening down on the dial foot, then giving it a twist. Boom. Now we got to go line up the other dial foot like that. And we can see that we need to remove this one here. Go back in with the pin vise, tighten it down, and give it a twist. Now this dial should just slip right on. So if you're interested in getting into these mods, it's pretty fun. It's easier when you have all the tools and a little bit of experience with watches, but the learning curve is quick, and you can end up creating a pretty cool watch inexpensively. So now that we have the dial fit to the movement, we're gonna go ahead and see how tight this hour hand is. And it's great not having a date for these mods, because then you don't have to time the jump for the hour at midnight. But the hour hand does go on a little high before it gets really tight, just like some of the previous ones I've done. It's typical, but you got to test it out to get a feel for how tight it is, so you can have a correct sense when you're opening up the hand. So I get a little pith wood. I put the hand on right there. And I've rigged together a little brooch system. And I just kind of scrape. And already there's a little bit of the black paint coming off. But this is gonna get the hand to seat a lot more properly. So just a little scraping, not too much. You can always go back and do more. But let's see how that fits now. And it goes on much lower and much more level with the top of the hour wheel. So we can actually still press it down. And that is much better. So very nice. Okay, now we're going to center the hour wheel, the hour hand, right at 12. And we're going to place the minute hand right where we need it. And just like before, we need to test it and see how tight this is. And this is very tight. Does not want to go on straight. So it's definitely advantageous to open the hand up. Okay, so let's open this minute hand up just a little bit, but we have to change the tip on this brooch here. With a more fitting one. And I've noticed these, minute hands, I broach them and they still fit very tight. And then you just give it a little bit more pressure and then boom, it goes all the way down a little too far. So want to be careful when installing the minute hand, but it definitely needs a little bit of work. That's right where we want the hour hand on the dial. And now we can place that minute hand right there. So now we check the hand alignment. And we're looking pretty good. I wish it was better. So I'm going to take it off and do it again. Okay, so let's retry this hand alignment. okay. I like that. I also like the spacing. And I will broach this hand out here. Now we have the second hand broached out. We can press that on. So we can see that tick. I don't know, it looks really good. And we can go around. We can look at that division. Not bad at all. So we got our hands on looking good. So what I do is I get a little bit of Fomblin. It's a silicone grease. And I apply it onto the threads. Now I'm not super into display backs, but you know, my friend is, and this is an option, so I'm going for it. I'm gonna grease the entire gasket just like that. Don't touch the inside of the crystal with this grease. You will waste a lot of your time getting it out. So I suggest, you know, keeping your hands clean. Actually going to be wiping mine now. And we also want to grease the crown and tube here. So I'll put some grease on the tube threads and tube gaskets. Screw that down nice and tight. Then I get my amazing case back closer. Remove these spring bars. Now we change the attachment. Let me put the appropriate one back on. And now let's tighten this case back. Nice and tight. There we go. And I'll have to put in my spring bars again. And this is a beefy case. This case is a monster. So let's go bring this right over here. Right over to the pressure tester. So I hook the watch right there. I lock it down. And I start cranking, you know? And these always pass, but I want to make sure that they always pass. Now this is 3 kilograms per centimeter, and each kilogram per centimeter of pressure is about 33 feet, which is about 1 bar. So we have 100 feet of pressure here. Now what I do here is let the pressure off. Unhook. Now I'm going over to my cleaning machine here, where I have this dryer rigged up. I turn the heat on, dry on, power strip on, timer on. Now this machine I use when I'm doing servicing on movements. Now that our case is nice and toasty and it's not fogged up, we know we're waterproof. So we can open her back up. And we can begin casing our watch now. Can remove the little sticker here. Now I can see already we have debris. We can puff it out. When in doubt, puff it out. I'm going to be very careful because we also need to wipe. Okay. Time to size this stem, huh? So in order to size the stem, we unscrew the crown. We get our new stem. We screw that back in. We use our pin vise. We make sure we're nice and tight. Now we have to see how much of the stem we should cut off. So remove the crown with the dummy stem. Those usually aren't the right fit. Some more puff. And this is a tight fit into the case, which I like. But this is tough, so. but we can at least take a look. Okay, so let's size the stem. Okay, we're going again. Telling you, this case is so tight around the movement. But there we go, we're in. I believe this time I have the stem correct. We can wind. We can set, and we can screw all the way down. Now we double check. No lint in the case. Famous last words. We can unscrew the crown, we can wind it, and we can set the hands. So let's Loctite that crown. Nice and tight. Okay, so the stem is locked tight into place. we know we have the fit we want. So right now, I take a little bit more of our grease and I grease the stem right where it's spring loaded. Get it right back into place. Now let's take a look. So far, so good. The hands are lining up. Pretty nice. Not the best, but that's good for me. Good for Seiko. So this is what we're looking at right here. This is sweet. I can't wait to put this bezel on. But right now, I want to time the watch out. So the first thing I notice is the amplitude. It's looking really good. We have the beat error over here, about 0.5. That could be lower, but we can adjust that. The watch is going a little fast, which is fine because there could be some slow positions. And here, the beat error is about 0. And the timing's a little fast. A little fast all the way around. But not too bad. You know, I like it. I'm not even going to complain about this. This is great timing on a watch. So we got a couple positions, +5, +3, +7. Got a little slow position here. As long as the beat error isn't, 1 or 2 point something, this is just great. So I'm keeping it. Now let's close this case back. Here we have our trusty BB case press. And I find the right die for the bottom. Fits right over the case back. And it supports the case frame without pressing onto the crown. So this is a good fit for the bottom piece. And we set the watch in just like that. Now, so this is how the mod will end up looking once we press the insert into the bezel. And I've found the correct bottom piece here, supports the case frame, and I found the correct top piece here, which fits right into the bezel. But we want to make sure that the pip lines up right at 12 before we press it in. And that looks very lined up. But I do want to protect the bezel. So in order to protect this bezel, I'll just be using a sheet of a plastic bag. And if you want to get a good look at this press, this is how we do it. Wow. Solid snap. And let's take a look at this. Let's take a good look at our creation here. So the insert comes up just a little bit over the bezel. So I'm glad I didn't use the 3M tape. But this insert was very thick, and the way it sounded when it snapped in was super solid, so I trust it's going to stay. And this watch looks great. No date sub. I do see a little lint under the case. I'm going to have to go back and get that. But other than that, a very solid build. So now let's size the bracelet. It's a really nice look. That's what I was going for. You can see how much taller the case is from the Explorer to the No Date. The inserts lining up proper. I like it. I like that a lot. Okay, this I really like too. But we gotta size this bracelet. Hardcore NAMOKI, huh? So solid. This fit with the end pieces is just so good. And if you watch this far and you like the way this mod is turning out, there's a link in my description with a discount code. You can build something similar. Look at that watch. What a great build. I mean, that's just great. Super nice, no date, diver's watch. This thing's gonna be big on me. So bracelet sizing. I should probably take one link out on each side at least. That looks good. Yeah. So that's a very nice build. Just one example of getting creative. Now this is just a giant watch. Let's take a little look, huh? This one's got the display back. But how cool is that? Get these links. So, thank you all for watching. And remember, keep it radical. Time's radical.